It began on a windless night in late October, when the air itself hung heavy and still. I had moved into the old farmhouse on the edge of Bishop's Hollow, seeking nothing more than solitude after an unending stretch of sleepless city nights. My only companions were the gentle hiss of the radiators and the ticking grandfather clock in the entrance hall. At first, that was comfort enough. The first voice came on the seventh night. I was reading by the flicker of a lamp when I heard it not from outside, but from within the walls themselves. A soft, shivering whisper threaded through floorboards and up into my bedroom. "Are you awake?" I stopped reading, the panic rising as if a hand had slipped around my heart. But there was no one in the room, only the faint, musty aroma of dried lavender mixed with old wood. "Who is this?" I called, the words falling flat against the silence. No answer came, but the whisper returned at midnight. It wound through the house, as if the rooms themselves were exhaling secrets. "Thank you for staying. We were so lonely." I barely slept. Each night, the voices grew bolder, childlike, ancient, mournful, sometimes even amused. They never threatened. Instead, they pleaded and reminisced. The doors groaned open by themselves, carpets quivered beneath my feet, and cold, invisible hands closed windows I'd forgotten. Sometimes, the kitchen filled with the smell of cinnamon and tobacco, the memory of breakfasts and long-gone fathers, though I lived alone. I confided in the mailman, Mr. Keene, whose face turned grave. "This place has stood empty near on 20 years, he whispered. "Folks said it was haunted by the Hollow's old war, but maybe the house just missed company." Days passed, and the house's longing became palpable, a weight that pressed around me, tender and insistent. Light broke through hidden cracks, revealing faded wallpaper with painted children holding hands. At night, voices told stories. Once, a girl hid here from thunder. She sang to the rafters until they danced. We remember. Still, sleep eluded me. On the 12th night, after midnight had clawed across the windows, I woke to voices murmuring, "You're one of us, now." My mirror showed a pale, sleepless shadow, barely recognizing myself. Eyes rimmed red. I tried to leave at dawn, but the front door refused to open, its brass handle icy beneath my shaking palm. "We can't let you go yet," the stairs groaned. The sense of kinship twisted into something desperate. I hammered at the windows, my breath fogging the wavy glass. Outside, the world was a painting, unmoving, silent, the trees frozen mid-bend, and the crows were statues on the fence post. Now it's second story. The rain hammered the shattered windows of Black Hollow Asylum, each drop a staccato echo in the long-dead corridors. Years had passed since the last patient shuffled out, yet the place gripped the edge of town like a malignant growth. Locals whispered about the asylum's impossible corridors and the mournful music that drifted on some nights, but only when the moon was thin and sickly. Julie, a curious grad student in local folklore, pressed her flashlight deeper into the gloom. The world behind her was a different color. In here, light was feeble, sickly pale like a memory clinging to the walls. She paused beside a door inset with frosted glass, the words "Records Department" etched like a threat. She inhaled. Rot, mildew, a sharp tang of old antiseptic. Something creaked above. Julie's goal: to uncover the truth behind the fabled whispering ward. Legends told of an experiment patients locked away, never seen again, but their voices lingering in the halls. Her hands trembled as she eased open the records room door. Old files lay in ruin, water warped and moth-eaten. Then her light caught a slim, dustless diary on the desk, as though recently handled. She read the first page, penned in a crabbed, frantic hand. "They're in the walls. Every night, closer. Dr. Nielsen says sound travels differently here. The maze changes if you listen." A chill snaked up Julie's back. Her breath misted, though the air was stifling. A distant piano note rang, faint as a memory. No one else was supposed to be here. She followed the music, drawn down passages that seemed to bend the more she looked. Hallways looped, doors she had marked with chalk led nowhere. Always the music, now closer, now behind her, always unsettlingly off-key. Her footsteps quickened, echoing in a rhythm not her own. Her phone screen glitched, clock flickering. 1-5, 2-13, 12-1. The longer she stayed, the more her own thoughts were not quite her own. At the junction near the decrepit children's ward, she heard soft voices, a labored whisper. Help us. Julie pressed forward and the air shifted thicker, viscous. The walls themselves hummed. She moved through the sound, following the voices, until she entered the whispering ward. The room was empty except for the faint shimmer of outlines on the walls and a battered tape recorder on the floor. The recorder clicked on by itself, a voice, raw with anguish. They listen until we're gone. The maze is hungry. The ground shuddered. Faces formed in the mold, screaming in slow motion. Julie ran, but the halls were unfamiliar, wrong. Doors she tried, rattled, sealed. A flash of herself, reflected in frosted glass, her face blurred, eyes hollow, mouth gaping in a silent scream.